Thanks for being here today. This is always an honor to get a chance to sit up here and talk about what our team is looking forward to for the fall. I want to thank Dr. Bentz, Dave Scott for your support of our program. I especially want to thank everybody in the room that supported us financially so that we could take this European trip that we took this summer. And I'll start there. We had a chance to bring our athletes together, our staff together mid-July to train for 10 days prior to leaving for Europe. And we got a chance to go compete against 5 really good teams in Europe and do some touring and get a chance to get to know each other as people on and off the court. And I think anybody that understands volleyball, it happens in a very small space. We always talk about between the lines, and if you don't know each other very well as people, there's a lot of confusion that happens between the lines, and I think the time that we spent together this summer was critical. We returned 13 players. We added only 3 new players, which I think is going to definitely be to our advantage, 2 freshmen and 1 junior college transfer. So after we got back from Europe, we had a week off, which I think we all kind of spent in jet lag. So I'll just get it out there. So our preseason was a little bit different than any other year that we've had because we had already instilled our system. We had already started working on lineups, and we could kind of break down video from Europe and start from there. So we had that nice solid foundation from the summer, which I think is going to only help us get where we want to go a little quicker than any other year. So we're excited. It's super excited to be able to open up at home. Last year we were on the road a lot, and it was very difficult. We had 5 freshmen, 3 that played vital roles, 1 being Mo. So I think we're 1 more year tougher, 1 more year experience. Gaining Autumn back from an injury, it has just been a blessing. So we're excited to get started.
So what was it like facing that kind of competition in Europe? What do you feel like it'll do?
We talked about it before we left, and every athlete, every group that I've ever worked with, I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot. I've seen a lot of excellent players from our youth national team go and play overseas and really struggle because the serve and pass game is just so much different over there. They're able to serve incredibly aggressive. They'll find you wherever you are on the floor, which is just very different than in the U.S. It's not serving. Serving is kind of a skill that's not as prized as it is internationally. So we knew, actually, I had told them, but they had to experience it themselves, which I think was really good. We played against some really physical players. We played against completely different styles. So it was great. Totally out of our comfort zone, unair conditioned gyms, different ball. The officiating was different. So just a lot of scenarios that pushed their comfort level and got them being able to have to perform when it wasn't the perfect scenario.
Autumn, what did you take out of
that? I think it was the most incredible experience. I told you that earlier, but it was a huge help and a huge benefit to our team. We got to, like she said, practice earlier before we even left, so we kind of have that advantage. And we also just got, who are you going to say I went and traveled the world with 15 of my best friends? You can't just say that or be able to say that any other time. And it just really helped us, I think, bond and give us some greater chemistry on the court and just helped us, like she said, to learn more about each other. And I think that will just benefit us greatly as we go into the season.
Melissa, you look at the 13 players you were talking about returning. What have you seen in growth-wise over the last year?
I think they're all on the same page, and it takes a while. I think you have turnover every year, and I think to get these young women at a point where they all want the exact same thing, where they're willing to sacrifice what maybe they want individually to put the team first. And that's 100% completely where this team is today. And it doesn't mean that they're going to let go of their individual goals, but it means when it comes down to it, if it means they have to stand on the sidelines and support their team to get the W, they're going to do it. So, they've adapted really well to the system we're training, what we're doing offensively, defensively. It's very complex. This will be the most complex system anybody has seen that's watched me and my time here in coaching, and these guys have just adapted and matured really in the game. They've truly become students of the game because we've pushed them more mentally and tactically than we ever have before. So just that 1 more year, I think, is so advantageous to have those 3 freshmen that played come back and now have gotten those types of jitters out. we hope.
You had a real numbers issue a year ago, almost too many players who could play, and I know you have a lot of players who can play now. Has that kind of pared itself down a little bit, or do you still have lots of questions to answer?
Every year is different with how many players we're going to carry and who's going to play what roles and things, but I really feel like this team still has incredible depth, even though we don't have 21 players. I mean, with the 16 that we have by position, everybody's chasing each other all the time, which is a wonderful problem to have. I feel like we've gone through every potential scenario that we would see in a game, ways we're going to fight our way out of situations with the 6 that are on the floor, ways that we're going to sub our way out of them, ways we'll call a timeout and run a certain play to get our way out of it. So I feel like the numbers are semantics to me. It's much more about, do you have the right pieces of the puzzle? And we definitely do.
How are you different offensively, Mo, really? With the kind of weapons you have? I may be wrong about this, but you lost some middle hitters, right? From last year.
Yeah, we did.
Different, or are those positions kind of replaced?
I think this year we are more strategic in what we do. It's not all about like one position. I think we spread it out enough so like people don't know like where we're going or what we're gonna do. It's not all about, yeah, we did lose like a valuable player, but we also like have other like freshmen and other like juniors coming in. They're really stepping up and trying to be the best they can be for us.
Autumn, we talked about the depth of the outside hitters, and you coming back after an injury last year, it gave an opportunity for Carisha, Cora, Katie, and now you're bringing in a player like Courtney Beck, who is an NJCAA tournament MVP. Can you just talk about the depth of the hitters, and like you had said, just kind of just the depth and how many good outsides you guys have?
I actually think it's really great, but also really scary at the same time because, it's not like every day my position isn't set. Like I go into practice and Carisha's killing every single ball that she touches, and it's just like, okay, well, I have to step it up a little bit more. And it's not just her, like it's every single one of those outsides that you named. Like every single one of those players can bring something different every day. And so if like we're playing in a game or something and I know that I'm having a bad game, like immediately I'm like, okay, I got to step up or else I'm going to get subbed out because there's other girls that are just as good waiting to come in. And if that's not the case, like even if I do play bad, I can't be too worried about it because our team is just like, the depth that we have is just phenomenal. And so, but heck, if I do have a bad game and I get subbed out, I can't be too worried because we got really good backup.